Baertrum Arturos III is a Necromundan adjurator, which a hive Primus' merchant guild's own private order of bounty hunters. Adjurators are hired when a guilder is concerned with the recovery of their own property and the reprimand of those responsible for taking it. However, after one such bounty took Arturos into the Underhive to run down a clan tithe-breaker, he developed a taste for that fringe realm and chose to remain there. Although he could easily make more scrip in the mid-hive domes, Arturos likes the way the Underhive's population look at him, with a mixture of fear and disgust, while the filthy environment reminds him that he was born of higher stock. Plus, in the Underhives, the adjurator can throw his authority around more easily than he could in the upper hive levels. Despite his dislike of the Underhive's population, though, Arturos is not above allying himself with them when his interests and theirs co-align. This leads him to often work with gangs, who hire the adjurator because he is always cool-headed, quick with his needle pistol, and shrewd enough to avoid being ambushed. They do have to put up with Arturos' frequent scowls, condescending sneers, and long diatribes in return. But it is a small price to pay for the adjurator's talents and the veneer of guild authority he brings with him. G'day and welcome back to Wellywood Wargaming. My name is Damon, and in this series we'll be exploring all of the colourful hired guns and dramatis personae that we have in the game of Necromunda. We'll be looking at some of the lore around these characters, we'll be looking at the stats and how they actually work in game in terms of their mechanics, skills, weapons and loadout, etc. And a quick look at the miniatures, should they be available for each of these characters too. Now I do plan on doing every single hired gun and dramatis personae in the game, which is an awful lot. I don't know, we're somewhere near 100 I believe, and it keeps on growing too. So if you'd like me to continue doing this kind of stuff, then please do help me out by liking, sharing, subscribing, and of course checking the Patreon as well out if you'd like to support me more directly. But without further ado, we are now in the Bs, as we're doing this in alphabetical order. I believe I've done all the As. Please do let me know if I've missed any of the As out. Now, I just will, a disclaimer, I'm going to do separate videos for all the agents. So if I'm leaving agents out, that's why. These are just hired guns. So these are the guys that you can actually hire in your games or use them as, outcast leaders and stuff too. Always think about the outcast leader option because it's an option. Anyway, Baertrum Arturos III, you got a little bit of lore there. This guy is an absolute toff, a posh twat. Of course, I might be a little bit biased there. I grew up in a town where there was a huge disparity between the working classes, where I grew up on a council estate, and the upper classes of Cambridge University. And you know what I mean if you've been to Cambridge. So this guy reminds me of the elite upper class sort of snobs and toffs that I had in my hometown. But I do love him though. He's pretty awesome. He's a little bit of an Eton boy, I suppose. He looks down on all the rest of the Underhive and stuff too. But he's really cool. The miniature's amazing. I've got a copy of this miniature as well. I must say, though, that the needle pistol is really, really fragile. So if you do get a copy of this from Forge World or wherever, just be really careful with that needle pistol because it's just so fragile. It's a tiny, tiny little bit that, and mine just fell off, unfortunately. I lost it. Anyway, moving into the actual stats about how this guy plays out in the game. He has 290 credits, which is quite a lot, let's be honest. And again, it really does depend how you use these guys in your games. I'm not telling you how to use them. If you want to use them just as a conventional, traditional sort of way and just use them as a hired gun, 290 credits is quite a lot. You're going to have a campaign that has lots of money in it, or quite late in a campaign where you do have lots of money. Aside from that, though, again, just reiterating that you can use these guys as an outcast leader, and this guy would make quite a good outcast leader just because he's quite cool looking and fluffy. He looks like you could make a brat gang with this guy leading him, perhaps, if you had a bunch of miniatures that sort of fitted the aesthetic. In terms of how he actually is in the game, though, let's have a look at the stats quickly. We've got a movement of 5, average. We've got a weapon skill of 3. Pretty good. Ballistic skill of 3 as well, also pretty good. Strength toughness 3, average again. 2 wounds, an initiative of 3 up, better than average. 2 attacks, and his mental stats are leadership 6 up, cool 5+, which is fantastic. Willpower 6+, and an intelligence of 5+. So he is definitely very well educated indeed, even if he is an absolute snob. Skills, we come with Disarm, Escape Artist, and Nerves of Steel. Some pretty easy, some pretty good skills there. Stuff that you might not use normally. Disarm, usually you get with weapons like axes and stuff. On 6s, it sort of stops reaction attacks from happening. We've got Escape Artist there as well, which I believe just helps you get out of combat if you get stuck in combat, stuff like that. And we've got Nerves of Steel as well, which is arguably one of the best skills in the game, combined with maybe Spring Up and Overseer, things like that. Nerves of Steel is fantastic, especially when you team it with a 5-up cool. Basically, you just need to pass a cool check to avoid being pinned when being shot at. So really, really good with that high 5+ cool there. In terms of the weapons that this guy has, he has an artisan needle pistol with auto loader, meaning that it's just a needle pistol basically, but it just isn't scarce, I believe. So it's slightly better than that. You can actually reload it. And we have a stiletto knife as well. So not the best weapons in the game, but lots of toxin. So this guy's a bit of an assassin, I suppose. He's quite good at taking out multi-wound characters should you hit them. He's also got an infrasight as well, which further makes his shooting good, meaning that you negate cover by 1, and you can also see through smoke and stuff too. Pretty cool. That's on the artisan needle pistol. And we've also got light carapace armor as well, which is a 4-up save. Pretty damn nice as well. Not a huge amount more to say about him in the game. He's certainly not world changing. He's not an amazing character. He's not particularly tough. He's not particularly strong, but he's annoying. He can be a nuisance. Toxin can be a real problem for people. Again, like I said, with multi-wounds and stuff, this guy could run up to an Orlok leader and take them out instantly, but then so can an Escher Juve for much, much cheaper, and you all know this, so I don't need to tell you that. Anyway, that is Baertrum Arturos III. I thought this would just be another quick video here as we move on to the rest of the bees. But that's it for now. Peace out.